Alright class, I've actually recorded this video once already, but unfortunately it failed to capture properly. So you may see I've already got some code written out here. Now, what I'm going to be asking you guys to do is basically just follow along with me for right now, and you can write in, uncomment stuff as we go along. Now, I made a new project. I just called it More Methods. You can put whatever date you want in front of it. And we're just going to make a couple more methods and talk a little bit about them. So first off, I should mention one, you can actually open and close these methods here. One of the nice things about NetBeans is instead of having hundreds of lines showing up on the screen, you can actually hide little pockets of code. So you don't have to see the whole thing if you're not really interested in looking at it. So first things first, when you start a project, you should have just the main. Now the main is actually a method. You see it says public static void main, and then we have this little thing in parentheses, right? String args. Now if you look at my other methods that I've got up here, public static void display v, for example, it basically is the same thing. Now the difference is the main method has to be in every single program. Most programming languages have to have what's called a main. This is the thing that actually runs, this main here. Nothing else. So it'll run whatever's in the main, and I've got all this commented out for now. We'll get to the whole code writing thing in just a minute. But that's what it's going to go first. It's going to go to the main. Now, our first method we're going to write will be this one. So this is where you can pause, write out the method. Now, we have just a couple of print statements. This is going to be public static void. Now, public means anything can access it. The only other option there would be private, which means only this class can access it. Static, that's just something that's going to have to be here, pretty much. I guess the simplest definition would be it means there can only be one copy of something. If you're making objects and stuff like that, not something we need to worry about just yet, but effectively, you have to have everything to be static if you're writing methods in the main. You see how this has public static? Statics are kind of particular in that they only like other static things. So since I have this public static main, if I try to run something that isn't static, it's going to complain and not do it. So pretty much everything in this main file has to be public static. And of course, void means it's not going to give me anything back. I can name it whatever I want. And in parentheses are the items I'm going to give it. In this case, I'm giving it a string and an integer. Now, the names themselves can be anything you want. In1, in2, name, age. You can put whatever variables you want there. Now, they don't have to be the same. And I think one of the previous projects early on usually see I'm passing two ints, I'm passing just string. But I can pass as many of these things as I want. You know, like that. Uh, like so. And whenever I pass something, it comes from the main, plugs in, and then I can use it. So let's not worry about this just yet. Let's just go to the main. So right now you should have this written. And I put a little comment at the end of each of those braces. And I'm going to tell you again, that helps, honestly. The larger your program gets, the more you do this, the easier it ends up getting. And for those who don't remember, if you have your code all sorts of cattywampus, Alt-Shift-F in NetBeans auto formats and kind of auto lines it up. It's very useful when you're trying to make sure you get the right braces and stuff. Now, the reason I tell you to do this is because legitimately braces are one of the most common sticking points for people. You have too many or not enough. You accidentally erase one, or you copy and paste and add two more that you don't need. So having a little marker that tells you what this brace is supposed to end when I have an extra somewhere and it breaks my whole program, you'll see that, oh, well, that's supposed to end there, but that does. And I can erase it, and kind of do the thing. All right, so I'm going to go to the main, and your main should be pretty much empty, and I'm just going to uncomment, and you can just write these down. But display variable, display v, I'm going to pass it a string and a number. Now I could have a variable, string name, int age, whatever down here, and I could pass those variables instead. But I have to pass an actual item down here when I call it. This is what's called the method call. What a lot of people end up doing is they'll be like, oh, well, string in one, trying to make it match this up here, but this is an argument that I got to pass up. So I have to pass up the actual item that I want. So in this case, Bilbo Baggins, and I really should Google how old Bilbo was, for he at the end of Lord of the Rings, or beginning rather. But it's going to pass that string and plug it into this variable. It's going to pass this integer and plug it into this variable. I kind of like to mentally picture it as a guy throwing a baseball to somebody with a glove. They have a glove that fits it, poof, they catch it. So for the entirety of this part of the program, N1 is Bilbo Baggins, age is 150. So if I just run the first one, you'll see name, Bilbo Baggins, age 150. And the nice thing about a method is, I can just call it again with different items, and it'll do the same thing, except with different results. Especially true if you are, let's say, displaying a map, and it passes, let's say, the area that you're in. So it may pull up a different map. But it may just be a simple ID or string or something that pops up, and that's what changes everything. Now, with this, I just wanted to give you an example of what it looks like when we pass different items. Now, the next one would be what I call add one. I've got two integers I'm passing. And we're just gonna, actually I'm gonna change this to change. And of course, I'm gonna come down here and have to make an adjustment or two, but I'm gonna call it change. Give it two integers. Now when I pass up an integer, whatever number that is, I've got N1 starts as whatever number I pass it. So if I pass it a 10, 10 is going to get plugged in. It's going to print 10. A negative 100, negative 100 is going to get plugged in, and then it's going to display that, right? And it's just a little message letting me know that I'm in the method. Now down here, I'm going to make some number changes. So N1 is going to get changed to 1,000. N2 is going to get changed to 10,000, and I'll print those so we can see them. So all this method is doing is basically just changing some variables that I passed up. Fairly simple, right? So at this point, you can pause and kind of write this out. Again, I've got the brace at the end. End, I guess it would just be changed now. There we go. And there we are. So passes numbers up, prints them, makes some changes, and then prints them so you can see the change. Now I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to uncomment some stuff here. I think I capitalized that. Yeah, I did. So change. So I'm going to make an integer called N1, an integer called N2, and then I'm going to call change. And we're just going to run that just to see what that looks like. Of course, I got my Bilbo Baggins and stuff. So I've got 10, negative 100. That is going to be 10, that's going to be negative 100. And if I click on this, you'll notice that it highlights the method that matches it. It's like display variable, you see it highlights. So I'm going to plug 10 into this, negative 100 into that. It's going to print 10, negative 100. We're going to run through the program inside the method. It's going to make a change of these numbers, and then it'll print that change, 100, 10,000. Now, we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to print out the variables again here in the main. Now, before I do that, I just want you to pause and think about it. Think for a second. What do you think is going to happen? I'm going to be printing out N1 and N2 again. So pause, think about it without running it, and tell me what do you think is going to happen. Well, you don't have to tell me, but think about it. What's going to happen? Let's see. I run it. Everything else happens. You know, my 10, my negative 100. I make the changes, and then they're 1,000 and 10,000. Then after the method's run, it says N1 is 10 and N2 is negative 100. Now, some of you are probably like, yeah, that's right. And a few of you are like, wait a second, didn't we change those? So let me talk to both groups here, more so to the second group. So I passed 10 and negative 100 up here, right? Now what we're doing, there's two ways to pass things. One's called pass by value, the other's called pass by reference. What we're doing here is what's called pass by value. So what I'm doing is I'm not passing this actual variable up there. I'm passing a copy. So I have N1, this is a copy. I'm just making a copy. That goes up here. Now for the entirety of this program until we get to the brace here, N1, N2 exists separately from the main. This is a completely different area. So I have a different N1, N2. I come down, I've got 1,000, 10,000. I've changed it in N1, N2. I print, you see it's 1,000, 10,000. But when I get to this brace, what happens? Everything's dumped. It's gone. Thrown away. We don't need it anymore. So the N1 here, the N2 here don't exist. If you remember, that term is called scope. If I declare something inside braces, they only exist inside those braces. This would be like a for loop, for example. Or if I declare a variable inside this method, it's only going to be good inside this method. Or inside of an if statement, it's only good inside that if statement. So what happens here is, you know, it makes the change, it passes those numbers up, it does all that stuff. But when we come back here, I'm not returning anything, it's a void. It's just simply making the changes and throwing them all away. So when I come here and I want to print N1, what is highlighted, if you notice? Well, it's highlighting this variable. Did I change that variable? I didn't, or N2. And that is exactly why it's still 10 and negative 100, because I just changed the copies that were up here. And this is one of the confusing points some people have when dealing with methods. All right, well, hopefully that helps a little bit. We'll do some more methods, of course, here in the next video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below. If not, then I will see you in the next one.